Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have the latest earnings results from Arista Networks, or Arista Networks, whichever you prefer. This is the business story behind one stock on a move. I'm Cory Johnson, Chief Market Strategist for the Futurum Group. Second quarter earnings from Arista Networks were good. It was a beat. Wall Street likes a beat or a miss. But we like to know what the business did, the actual numbers for this company. The company reporting $1.69 billion in revenues. That's 16% better than the previous year. Gross margins fantastic at 65%. And profits, net income of $665 million in the quarter. So a fantastic quarter for this business. Let's look beyond those headline numbers. As I mentioned, $1.69 billion in revenues. Operating margins, very strong, 46.5%. Now, when you think of Arista Networks, don't think of Arista Records, the 1980s and home of Whitney Houston and TLC and LA Babyface Reed, the great creation of Clive Davis. No, this is Arista Networks. These guys make networking gear. And many of the executives used to work at Cisco. They have Cisco in their eyes. They have targeted a takeover of Cisco's market. And every single quarter, they tell us how much closer they're getting to Cisco. And they think they have finally gotten to a point where they have more ports, data center ports, Ethernet ports basically, than even Cisco has. And they've finally achieved that multi-year goal, a thing that they've been after now for 11 years. They're finally at a point to be ahead of Cisco, at least according to them and some of the industry studies out there. But they had a very strong quarter. Their inventory is also very strong. Slightly more inventory on the books than they had previously. 1.1 inventory turns, if you want to measure it in terms of turns. And that's a lot better than they've been in the past, and it's certainly a lot better than the rest of the industry. Their guidance in the quarter, they raised their guidance once again, but importantly, they're still saying that this company that's going to do $41 billion this year is going to do $70 billion by 2028, an ambitious goal, and one that I think has helped hold up the stock hold up quite a bit over the course of the last year. Now, initially the stock sold off at first glance at these numbers, but as I heard more good news, digging through the release and indeed looking at the success they're having in data center, the conversation around AI, stock bid up about 1% in after hours, and that's after a 106% gain in the last year. Now, in the world of switching and Ethernet, there's this speed increase. It's so important in all of the world of datacom, but particularly in AI data centers, where once upon a time, not too long ago, 200 gig was considered very fast for moving data, 400 gig the cutting edge. In data centers, you've got 800 gig happening already. There's talk of 1600. Nobody has 1600 yet. I don't care what they say. Nobody's got that yet. But this is the world in which Arista Networks plays. And so when asked about that, their CEO, Jayshree Ullal, again, another Cisco alumni, talked about the way that they're trying to be available for all of the movement of massive amounts of data from AI data centers out to the rest of the world, something they think ultimately will go back to Ethernet. As has often been said, never bet against Ethernet. Arista Networks sure isn't. Here's Jayshree Ullal.
As I've often said, it's more a bus technology. So eventually, where Arista plays strongly, both on the front end and back end, is on the scale out, not on the scale up. So independent of the modularity, whether it's a rack-based design, a chassis, or multiple RU, the ports have to come out Ethernet, and those Ethernet ports will connect into scale-out switches from Arista.
So there you have it, from the CEO's mouth to God's ears, we shall see. But what's it all mean? What's your big drill down earnings takeaway? The one number that means a whole lot? We'll have that right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
All right, so just reported second quarter earnings from Arista Networks. Here's the summary, the stuff you want to remember. $1.69 billion in sales was really strong, 16% increase from the previous year, and a very profitable business for these guys. But I promise you the bite, the one number that means a whole lot, and you've got to think of this company in the context of the competition they have with Cisco. They think in terms of market share. Cisco's at 34% market share, and they're at 30% market share, closing the gap really fast with Cisco in an era of data and AI. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson, Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media. And of course, you can check me out on X at Cory TV, on TikTok and Instagram at Drill Down Pod, and on the YouTube page for 6.5 Media. Leave some comments. Tell us what you think. Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5.